to the Frank Ammons Show. The Frank Ammons Show. Your number one source for entrepreneurs to learn, earn, and create wealth.
A mindset. Comfort is the enemy of success. It is the killer of dreams. You are enough. It's got to include the result you want. The best parts of your life is right on the other side of hard times. When they ask you what do you do for a living, you're going to say, I do whatever it takes. You got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. I'm going to step in my moment. You started from the very beginning saying, hey, let's do this. It's going to serve other people, but serve us.
And now, here's your host, Frank Ammons.
What's going on, guys? We are here on Friday. It is the day of the beginning of the weekend. You got some special plans this weekend, Daniel?
Not too much planned on over here. Just working on the nursery.
Yep, getting ready for that baby boy to show up. When's the due date? Let everybody know when the due date is.
The last week of June is when we're expecting him to be here.
Come on. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. Can't wait.
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous too, but
okay.
Nervous doesn't help anything. So
yeah. Well, we've had some great guests on this week, and I guess this is just a great week to have great guests because we have another one today. And so, guys, get ready to look in the comments, post some questions. We want to hear your feedback on what you're hearing, if it's inspirational, if it's informational, if it's transformational, if you got questions, you got things you want to even ask ourselves or even the guests that we have on. But no further ado, go ahead and introduce our guest today.
Sure. So today we have a young man. He is a mindset performance coach. He, said he used to not have that motivation, and he found the motivation, and now he helps others find that motivation. His name is August Orlowski. Let's welcome him to the show.
What's up, August?
Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man, on a Friday. And what's going on, man? Tell us who you are, your background, your story. Give us a little insight of why you do what you do, man.
Yeah, for sure. So currently I'm a 19-year-old entrepreneur who is also a student in university. And, before I got started in any kind of entrepreneur type spaces, before I started my own business, I used to struggle a lot with just myself, right? I wasn't really happy with where I was in life. And so what do I mean by that? I used to procrastinate on everything in life, and every day used to look the same for me, where I just go through the motions, really didn't pay attention to many things in my life, and sort of just live the average life on a daily basis. And so I knew that something needed to change. What's everyone around me was telling me that, hey, you're not going to have a good life if you keep doing what you're doing. And so many people kept telling me this. So I decided that, hey, something needs to change. And, that's when I started looking into topics like personal development, like entrepreneurship, and surrounding myself with people who are already doing what I'm doing. So, it's been a great journey since. Blessed to be doing this at such a young age, because I know there are people who are maybe even listening to this right now who are maybe older and are just getting started on the journey. And, that journey of finding yourself and finding what it is you're passionate about most can be really incredible. So the earlier you start, I think the better it is, but it's never too late to start either. So yeah, blessed to be here and really just ready to have a great conversation.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And yeah, hey, listen, the younger, the better, man. I wish I was your age, man. But here's the thing. I wish I knew what I knew at my age. So if I could be your age, but yet know what I know at my age, woo, unstoppable. But hey, we're all still capable of being unstoppable. What was it exactly? What trajectory do you think you would have ended up being or ended up resulting in if you didn't make those changes?
Yeah. So, if I didn't do what I've done, I would say by far the biggest thing, I would not be an entrepreneur today. The only reason I am is because I wanted to make the most out of my life. And if I didn't, I know for a fact I would just be an average university student, maybe have a simple 9-to-5 job like a lot of my friends that live around me here. And by far just slack off in life. I know that. I think that's the biggest transformation I've had I used to not care about anything. And really, like I tell people, I was by far the laziest person in the world back then. And I believe I still would be if I didn't change anything. So I think the biggest things, if I weren't to do what I'm doing today, is just continue to slack off, not pay attention to the things that matter, family, school, career, things like that. And also just not be fulfilled with the life I'm living on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of the people that are in college with you, right? They just go get the 9 to 5 to fill in the gap financially. Is that how most people do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you decided to start your own business. Is this your business or are you working for somebody?
Yeah. So the current business I'm in is all me. That's no one else. I started it. I'm working on it. Although that's not to say that's not been the case. I have worked for other entrepreneurs before to learn, gain experience, things like that.
Yeah.
But my coaching business, this is all me. I started it. And so, yeah.
What was it about starting a coaching business? Forget at the early age that you're doing it. Forget all the other things. What was it to you that said, I need to do this? I got to do this?
Yeah, so honestly, the idea of starting a coaching business started right when one of my mentors told me that you have to transform your mess into your message. And as soon as I heard that, I thought to myself, wow, I've really done a lot over the past year and a half. And so if I could help people achieve the same kind of results, really build a life in which they're fulfilled, making the most out of every single minute, then that's exactly why I should start a coaching business. It would be stupid not to, right?
Yeah.
And so, as soon as I heard that quote and thought to myself, I've had this huge mess for the past 1.5 years. How can I help people overcome similar problems? That's when I really decided that I need to start this coaching business.
Now, tell the truth. Some of your peers look at you like you're weird and wild and crazy, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I get made fun of all the time.
Yeah. It's like, oh, dude, you think you're a coach, man. You barely even got out of high school yet. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sure you get that, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Now, how are you proving them wrong?
Honestly, never giving up. And I think that's one of the most underrated skills, the idea of persistence, because there will be so many people who get hated on who say that you don't have what it takes to be successful, that you're too young or you don't know what you're talking about. There'll be all these hateful comments. But if you learn to ignore those comments and really stay to what's true to you, then you're just able to win every time. And sure, even though I may be working a lot these days because I have to balance both school and my business, I still truly believe I'm living a much more fulfilled life than I was previously. And so, regardless of what other people say, I truly believe that I am winning because I'm just doing what I'm doing every single day without paying attention to the hateful comments or anything like that.
Come on, man. Okay, so do you have clients yet?
Yes, I do.
Paying clients?
That's right.
So you never get the temptation to be walking through your dorm room and be like, bam, haters, this is what it's like to actually do what I do while y'all working the 9 to 5, bagging groceries. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But if you're doing it, you're working like a slave, and here I am owning my day. You ever get that? That's me. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm just kidding, but you ever get that temptation? Let's just be real. Sometimes you want to kind of like, hey, this is the result of me doing what I'm doing while y'all hating. I am stacking.
Of course I do. It would be not human for me to say I don't have temptations like that, but I still don't. I really do humble myself in any way possible because I know that, there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 if that's what you're looking forward to do, right? The only reason I'm not is because I see other plans for my life, right? But without people, working in those basic 9 to 5s, people working as grocery store clerks and other jobs like that, we wouldn't be able to live in the world we have today. So it's not to say that things like that are bad. They're just not meant for everyone. That's all.
Yeah. Well, but we got to start telling the truth. The only reason why there's a lot of things wrong with working a 9 to 5. The honest truth is the reason why you have to work is because you have to work a 9 to 5. I mean, there is some people who can't start their own business. There's some people who don't know how to manage their time or their money enough to be able to do that. There's some people who have disabilities. So, that's going to be an awesome big thing. There's going to be some people who don't want to worry about some of the things entrepreneurs want to worry about. So, the honest truth is because you have to, you want to, at the end of the day, you shouldn't want to, if you have, abilities that are above that, you shouldn't want to be only working a 9 to 5 hourly or even salary job. You should be wanting to do more than that. And the only way really to do that is to be what you've become, an entrepreneur. And man, I gotta Come on, bro. Come on, man. 19 years old.
Thank
19 years old. You break that on your own. What was one of the first worries you had when you decided to do that? Come on, tell the truth. There's some worries and concerns. Everybody has them. What did you have?
Yeah, super easy question. It's going to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. That was my first worry for sure.
What was it that you realized that made it like a realization is going to be harder?
Yeah, so when I joined the idea of entrepreneurship, started to get into all sorts of businesses. I experienced a lot of failure at first. The first year of entrepreneurship was nothing but failure. Literally, like countless hours of work without any kind of results. And so I believe that year was so crucial. And as I was going through that, as I was going through those tough times where I'd have all these sales calls or any kind of thing, I was also part of Amazon FBA business, helping my cousin out there. Anything I did was just not working out at first. And so I realized that, hey, this isn't a simple, snap your fingers, you'll get results in 30 days, money quick kind of scheme. It's much harder than that if you're really looking to get concrete results that are helping you build that lifestyle. So
now, when you shifted over and decided to do your own coaching business, how long did it take you to get your first client?
A month.
Okay. So you had to, and now, before, when you started out in entrepreneurship, you didn't realize it would take so long, so to speak, right? And
That's
maybe
right.
that was part of the idea that this is harder than what you think. But now that you shifted over to your own business, you were more prepared. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, of course, more prepared. I mean, with more experience, you learn more things, you understand what works, what doesn't. So yeah.
But you were willing to understand, have patience that it might take 30 days plus to get your first paying client. And so therefore you stuck at it. And now where are you at now? Like you got some good clients. What are you able to do? Are you able to be completely free other than your school time? I mean, do you have any other income coming in besides your business, or is that solely how you make your money?
Yeah, so my coaching business is my only source of income right now. I mean, unless you want to include some cryptocurrency trading, I do invest into cryptocurrencies. I don't know if you'd consider that an income. Of course, you do earn money through it, but it's not something I monitor on a daily basis, just sort of a side thing I have going on. But
Yeah.
by far, my coaching business is my main priority. And the main reason is that, the grass doesn't grow out more on the other side, it grows where you water it, right? So I know that if I stick to what I'm learning and continuously grow on one single thing.
Hold on 1 second. You just dropped a bomb, so I had to hit the button. The grass doesn't grow. We just added that today, so sorry about that. But the grass doesn't grow greener on the other side. It grows greener where you're at, right?
Yeah, it grows where you water it.
Yeah. Also, grass grows a lot more when you made a mess, and I won't use the word, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you've been through some failures, man. What did those failures teach you, man, that really helped you do what you do now better?
I think the biggest thing that failure taught me is that if you truly want something, you will find a way to do it. I know that if I truly didn't want to succeed in entrepreneurship, I would have given up a while ago. But the fact that I'm still here today, persisting no matter what happens, shows that someone wants it as bad as they truly believe they do. So, failure has just taught me where there's a will, there's a way. And so that's by far my biggest lesson.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to keep my finger ready on the trigger for this bomb button, man. Okay, so what's the hardest thing you faced so far since you started your coaching business that kind of like tested your commitment and your will?
Yeah, honestly, just a lot of rejection. When I was first getting started out, obviously to enroll people, you jump on sales calls and see how you can help them, right? See if there's any way you could provide value for them. And no matter what you do, no matter what kind of an entrepreneur you are, any kind of rejection, whether that's not closing a sale or not accepting some sort of partnership, any kind of rejection or failure is just going to hurt. And if you get that repetitively, it does wear you down, right?
Yeah.
But when you remind yourself why you started in the first place, you're able to bounce back from that difficult place. So, yeah.
So how do you manage that? Like, how do you overcome it and keep going?
By reminding myself why I'm doing it, and one of the main reasons why I started entrepreneurship is not for myself, but all the people around the world, my family, my friends, the people who can't afford clean water to drink on a daily basis, a house to live in. I want to help people like that in the future. And each day that I decide to slack off, give up, and think to myself that, hey, maybe this isn't the way to go, I'm letting all those people down. So whenever I remind myself of something like that, I just don't stop.
All right. So I'm going to go a little deeper here. How do you literally remind yourself? Do you just say something out loud? Do you have something written that you read? What is the actual practice that you do when you're faced with rejection, like you're saying, that helps you remember why you got to stick doing what you're doing?
Yeah, great question. So actually, in a book I read a while ago called Psycho-Cybernetics, excellent book to anyone who hasn't read it. It states there that your mind cannot tell the difference between something it imagines and something it sees. So what I like to do to remind myself of what happens when I give up.
Visualization. There you go.
Yeah, so when I close my eyes and visualize the people suffering by me slacking off, then I really get a clear picture and my brain knows that, hey, this is my fault if I decide to slack off today. So from there, once I visualize it, my brain doesn't know what's real and what's not. And from there, I get an instant motivation and the discipline comes in. Everything just gets back into shape once I visualize what happens if I'm not my best self today.
What was the book again? What was it called? Daniel, can you look that book up on Amazon and put the link in the comments?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, it's called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
Man, great book, man. I've heard of that book already, and you mentioned it. So that's man, come on, man. We got to hit this bomb again. That is powerful what you just said. So okay, guys, this is seriously, I know you guys think I'm crazy, but this is true. This is a man facing rejection. Okay. No one knows who he is. He's reaching out to him. He's trying to create conversation. I'm assuming some of this stuff. I mean, that's usually what people do. And they're saying, who are you? What are you doing? And if they're not saying that, that's how they're treating him. And I'm sure he's even trying to get people to get on calls so he can get more customers and clients to utilize the service. And he's getting rejected. He's getting rejected left and right, left and right, left and right, especially in the beginning. And if you just heard what he said, he takes those opportunities and he sits and visualizes what he would be missing out on if he stops, quits, or gives up. And he looks at what he's trying to accomplish. That is so powerful, man. Powerful. You guys need to start doing the same. Some of you guys give up, quit for the day, for the week, sometimes for the whole entire process. And then you wonder why you can't achieve what you want to achieve. It's never going to always feel great and good. There's going to be days that are hard. There's going to be moments that are really tough. And pushing through those moments is what's going to make the difference, man. What a powerful thing, man. Hopefully we can get that that link to the book in there. There you go.
Yeah, I got it in there.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
So I got a question for you before you continue, Frank. You said that it took you about 30 days before you had your first paying client. So how many non-paying people, how many people did you have to call and talk to or reach out to or have reach out to you? Basically, how many prospects did it go through before you actually got someone that was a paying client?
I couldn't give you an exact number. If I were to guess, I would say around 300 to 400.
Yeah, because I think a lot of new entrepreneurs don't realize how much effort it really takes. They're thinking, okay, I can call one person a day for a month and I'm going to get a customer out of that. But, you were calling three, what would that be? 10 people a day at least. And that is if you're doing it 7 days a week to get that first paying customer in that first 30 days.
So you said 200 or 300 until you got your first client?
Yeah. And just to clarify, I didn't call all those people. This was 300 to 400 conversations, of which a portion of that I had a conversation with, and then of which of that I had to go through all those people until one of them decided to enroll into my program.
So probably like some social media outreach, some organic conversations in Messenger and DMs, that kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. And so then you took those who had at least some level of interest, jumped on a phone call. Is that how you do things?
Yep.
Right. And then on that phone call, how do you handle your phone call? We're going to get into what you do. Don't worry. We're going to get into what you're doing, but we always love to dissect business practices and business models, and especially in the coaching industry, because a lot of people that we work with are coaches, and we love to get this out there because people can really start this, but they have to know the truth of things, right? The truth is it's not easy and you're going to have to push through. And here's what you're telling us, that you had to push through 200-300 contacts to get your first client. So talk to us about what your process is when you get someone on a phone call first of all, I want to ask, what is your pitch, so to speak? I'm, lack of a better word, of why someone should get on a phone call with you. Because I know that sometimes I'm like, let's get on a call. Let's get on the call. Everybody wants to get on a call. No, just tell me what you want to say on Messenger, right? But what is your way of saying, what's the reason why you get people to get on a phone call?
Yeah, so the way I frame it is really in the new world paradigm. Something one of my sales mentors taught me is that the old sales paradigm, excuse me, is all about you versus me. So if you look at commercials back in the day, they would use really a lot of scarcity methods to get you to buy something, right? So they go buy this, or else you're going to have problems with this kind of health issue in the future, right? It was a lot of scarcity, subconscious or conscious in the commercials that really influence people to buy certain products, right? But really, so many people have learned that strategy and learned to reject it that something new needed to happen. So the way I overcome this problem is really in a you and me type of paradigm, right? So what do I mean by that, right? When I approach people to jump on a conversation, it's really to work together, to be collaborative, and really find a solution which helps them improve their life. So really, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make, and I made this all the time, don't get me wrong, I used to do this for a huge portion when I first got started as an entrepreneur, where I would just try and find a way to get people to give me money. That's all I cared about, right? And once I realized that that's not the point of entrepreneurship, that's not why I got into it. I got into it to help people. Once I reframed that, I realized that I'm able to generate much more results because I decided that I'm going to work with these people, not go against them, just get their money and maybe they'll get results, right? I truly cared about the customer or client first before I paid attention to anything that would benefit me.
Right. Okay. So that's great information. And that is so true. It's more people need value. They need to know that you care about them and care about who they are and what their interest is. So give me an example of what you do to kind of lay that out for someone. So you inbox me and you say, hey, Frank, I see that you do this and that. I might be able to help you with this. What are you saying to me to try to get me on a phone call?
Yeah. So, I would say by far the best thing, which helps people jump on conversations with me, is really just noticing that they have some sort of problem in their life. So I'm always super interested to see what people are doing in their life, what's working, what's not. And throughout somewhere in that conversation, someone's most likely to say some sort of problem, right? And so once they say that problem, I really like to dig deep and see, so what do you mean by that? What do you mean by you procrastinate on certain business tasks? I'll ask the deeper questions. And, a powerful quote that Tony Robbins says is that clarity is power. So once people have that clarity that, hey, there is a problem in my life, they're going to want a problem or a solution to that problem, right? And so once we both recognize that problem, I say, I may have a way to help you out. Would you be open to having a conversation with me about this? So, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes. And so kind of the first step, even in the initial conversation, if you will, stage, you're still trying to help them be clear on sometimes they don't even know they have a problem, right?
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So clarity is kind of the first step for you. Then you try to transition into, I can help you with that, right? And I believe I have some solutions. Let's jump on the call, right? And do you get into some examples of that help or that solution so they have real good motivation to get on the call and stick to the call? Because I know some coaches have a lot of trouble with people booking but not coming, you're not sticking through the schedule. What do you do to prevent from that?
Yeah. So, I actually, when I got started in coaching, I had a lot of no-shows as well. That's what they like to call it in the industry. So, that from that point, it really, if people don't show up, I've learned it's for two reasons. Number one, is that you didn't present enough value. If you didn't say that, hey, I may be able to help you with this big problem that you told me earlier, then chances are they won't care about the call and just not show up, right? But even if you do show enough value, chances are they forget just because you don't remind them. And it's not that they're selfish, that they don't care about you or anything like that. Chances are they just need another reminder, right? Our attention span on social media is very short. To be specific, 7.1 seconds, right? So if you're just opening a message saying, yeah, sure, let's jump on a call, and then you forget about that person who messaged you, it's human nature now to just forget about something like that. So following up with them 48, 24 hours, and 1 hour before the call that you have scheduled is really just a valuable way to make sure that they show up.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
With a simple message, each time that someone books in a call with me, they also give me their phone number. So, I'll message them or even call them if they're not answering for a long time, and say, hey, just want to make sure you're good to go for a call in the next blank hours. Is that good? And they'll say yes or no, and be good to go from there.
Yeah.
Do you
So
use
that helps.
any automated CRM programs or anything, or do you do that all manually?
I do that manually. Nothing against automated things. I just haven't had the time to set it up, honestly, but
Yeah.
definitely something I'll look forward to.
Yeah, get with us after this interview. I got a tool I can show you. You can put all that in place, and it still feels like you and your no shows will turn into no shows. There you go.
Awesome.
Anyway, all right. So let's go back to the sequence. I'm very interested in how you do things. All right. So let's say they come on the call, right? Is that the majority of how you book or get clients is through a phone call sequence?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if I don't know that, if I'm just sort of certain that someone needs help, then it's not really the best way for me to help them, right? I need to be sure that this is something they want. Because if someone's looking for a transformation in their life, it's not because I want to help them. They want to help themselves, and I'll just help them along the way. But they've got to have that desire themselves. So I can't really know that until I have a conversation with them.
Right. So phone calls is like your only way, and it's obviously it's the best way, right? Because that's why everybody's doing it. So you get them on the phone call. What are you doing on the phone call from start to finish to kind of hopefully get them confident enough to buy from you?
Yeah, so I follow a very simple framework. I start off by diving deep into where they currently are. So I'll touch on some of the things they mentioned in the messages, like, "Hey, you mentioned that you're struggling with working on a certain task in the morning. Could you tell me more about that?" Right. So I'll dive deep into where they're currently at, and from there, once I recognize, okay, so this is where they're at, I ask them this really powerful question. And literally, I had a sales call earlier today, and the person told me, "Wow, that's a phenomenal question." I asked them, if we were to have the same conversation 1 year from now and everything goes exactly the way you want it to, what would your life look like? And as soon as you ask them that question, from there, they start thinking, wow, what if I could actually do this? They have that possibility factor in their mind. So as soon as I ask that question and learn about what it is that they're looking to achieve in the future, in the next year, then they really start operating in a way which, like, I want to do this. I want the motivation. I want whatever it takes to get this goal done. And so once I have the current situation that they're in and the dream that they really have, from there, I'll ask them, what do you think is stopping you from getting from where you are to where you want to be? Right. Then they'll recognize their own problems. Right. Really, I'll ask deeper questions, make sure they find everything. But chances are people know what it is they're struggling with. They just haven't really spoken about it to anyone. Right. Which is why I love jumping on strategy sessions like that, because they recognize the problem. They know that something needs to change. And so,
Go ahead. I was going to say, so once you get them on, you kind of re-emphasize their problem, at least what was discussed leading up to the call. And then you then transition into a year from now, if that problem was solved, right? What would your life, how would it be better? Right. Am I following? Am I tracking right?
That's right.
Very good. Okay. So those responses you get, what does that do for you? Does it tell you how committed or how possibly committed, or is it more for them to realize that this is possible and now I just need to find a way to get there and you might be the solution? How's that? What's the thought behind that?
Like I said, these calls are collaborative ideas. So it's actually both of the things you said. I get a good sense of where they are and where they want to go. And they also get clarity for themselves that, hey, I want to improve my life in this way. Right. So it's really a win-win situation in that question.
Okay. So then you ask that question, they start thinking, they start giving you some feedback. Now, what's the next step? What do you usually do after that?
After that question that I just said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, once they give me an idea of what their life looks like, and then also where they want to be, from there, I'll ask them something along the terms of, what's your motivation for even doing this? I mean, you don't have to do this at all. You can continue doing what you're doing, and clearly you're still living. Everything's fine, right? So what's your motivation for actually changing this? So that's another powerful question that really just helps open their mindset to the point of, I need to do something to improve my life, because ultimately I'm not where I want to be. So once I really dig deep into their dream, why they want to achieve it, I go on to ask them, what's stopping you from getting there? Then I dive deep into that, right? Ask follow-up questions, So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by myself? That's a very common answer there. When I ask them, what do you think is stopping you from achieving that dream? A lot of people say myself. And so, you have to dig deeper into that. You have to ask them, what do you mean by myself? What about yourself is stopping you on a daily basis? And they'll dive deep. They'll say, maybe my lack of execution on the things I learned from my mentors or anything like that, right?
So let's say, let's use an example. So let's say I'm trying to track as much as I can so the audience can track as well. A lot of people are going to be watching this and really going to find some value in this. I appreciate you diving into this, and we're going to get into what you actually do. But so people are I'm on the call with you, and you asked me that question: what would your life look like a year from now if this problem was solved? I start getting into that, start thinking about that, and then the next thing is what's the motivation to get this done or this solution? And I tell you my motivation, but then you say, well, what's stopping me, right? What's stopping me? What do you think is stopping you? What if I say, what if I do use the answer that you said? What if I say, hey, yeah, it's definitely me. My lack of, let me give you an example. My lack of focus.
Mhm.
What do you do with that?
Yeah, so with general shallow answers, as I like to call them, you really have to dig deeper, dive deeper, should I say, into the problem, right? Because clarity is power, as I said earlier. So if someone says my lack of focus, I'll say, got it. So when you say lack of focus, what is it that you struggle with focusing on? Is it a particular business task? Is it a time of day? What is it that you struggle with focusing on? And
right.
really just dive deep there.
All right, we're going to play a commercial when we get back. I hope you're ready because I'm going to have you help me in a quick little session, and people are going to be able to see your skills right here live on the Frank Ammons Show. Let me play this commercial. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I want to tell you about Impactpreneurs. Impactpreneurs is something I'm excited to share with you guys about. And basically what Impactpreneurs is purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are dedicated to creating successful businesses, products, and services, producing results that offer a life-changing impact on people so they can uplift communities and even change the world to be more like our Creator intended it to be. Impactpreneurs, guys. If you're an entrepreneur who has a passion, has a purpose-driven, service, product, or business, and yes, you make great income, but you also make great impact or want to make great impact, I want you to consider joining our free Facebook group called Impactpreneurs. Impactpreneurs is something that's going to change the face of entrepreneurship for the better, so more people are making more impact with their businesses, products, and services. Love to see you there. Hope to see you there. Don't forget to join Impactpreneurs. All right, guys, we are with our special guest, a coach, August, man. I mean, you have been already laying some bombs, giving us some dissecting information about the process that you've used, how you got started, how the struggle and challenge, man, it's been awesome already. And we're only kind of like halfway through. Guys, don't forget about Impactpreneurs. Matter of fact, Austin, if we can, I need to have you come on and do an instruction on one of our Monday night masterminds. I want to have you join that group and share with us one of our Monday night masterminds, man. I think you'll get a lot of feedback, good feedback. You might even get some clients from that deal. So after we're done, let's talk about that. But guys, I wanted Austin to give me
August.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
I wanted August to give me some real live coaching so you guys can see his skill set, because I already have enough information to know that this guy knows what he's talking about. All right. So August, I am struggling with focus, and I won't be so shallow as you said. I'll give you the exact ingredient. I have too many options in my life, especially when it comes to business. Too many great ideas, too many things going on as far as which one should I do? Which one should I double down on? Right. Help me with that.
Yeah, for sure. So, first I'd like to ask, what are some of these options that you're referring to?
Well, there's real estate, there's book writing, there's coaching, there's solar, there's a lot of great opportunities out there. There's, and a lot of these situations I can see myself being successful in because I've either done some version of them or have done them before or have some great connections and there's some good motivation monetarily. So there's a lot of great options out there that I've evaluated. And now it's a matter of which one do I double down on, because I know I got to double down on. I got to go all in on one, maybe two at the most, and then just do some things on the side later. But the problem is there's a lot. I don't know which one.
Yeah, there's too many in my opinion. I mean, it's really hard to pick these days. So, I think a great question to ask yourself is, what are you looking to achieve through entrepreneurship? What kind of results are you looking to get? And not in terms of financial, but in terms of impact. How are you looking to improve the world?
Right. Okay. Well, I want to help a lot of people. And help them be more successful using some of these quote unquote vehicles or platforms or opportunities or industries to do that.
Got it. So when you say a lot of people, could you quantify that?
Let's say 1 million people.
1 million people.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, just based off that, a lot of these businesses will take a while to do that, right? If you're looking to do this in, let's say, 20 years, somewhere there, I would not say that maybe real estate is the best way to do that, because, there will only be, whether a couple or a family buying a home or anything like that, it won't be as many people impacted. Sure, you'll help their lives a lot. But if you're looking to help a huge amount of people, really impact their lives, like 1 million people, looking into other things such as maybe solar powered things, I think a lot more people are moving towards that solar idea and really being able to sustain energy much better. That would be a much more efficient way of going about it. Now, I'm not saying
keep in mind when I say I want to use one of these vehicles to impact people, it's not just the clients, but also helping others get involved, recruit them, train them to utilize the platform themselves. For example, when I say real estate, not only do I want to, buy, flip, or whatever with real estate and personally benefit, but I want to teach people how to do the same. So everything I do, I always have an educational element to it. So if it's solar, I want to teach people how to sell solar and offer solar and make money and do those things. If it's coaching, if it's real estate, whatever. So just keep that in mind when I say I want to impact. It's just not through the transaction, but through, helping people get involved as well.
Well, yeah. Well, then if that's the case, then, really any of those models work. And the reason why is because if you combine that model, whatever it is you're doing, let's say real estate, right? You're helping people, you're flipping these houses, wholesale real estate or whatever you may be doing. And you also coach people on how to do that. Your impact automatically grows by a lot, right? So really, if you're coaching people, I think that is the best way to impact a huge quantity of them, because not only are you helping people in your own business, right, through the real estate part, but through coaching, it's not necessarily just through paid clients, right? Anyone who follows your page, anyone who sees value through your content is already getting impacted, right? So I truly believe coaching is the best way to impact many lives. And this doesn't have to limit you to only doing coaching, right? You can coach and also do the thing you're coaching on, right? Like for me, for example, right? Just because I coach on the idea of mindset performance, things like that, I still apply these strategies into my life on a daily basis. It's not something I just teach about.
Right.
And so that really goes for anything you coach about: real estate, solar, anything like that, cryptocurrencies. If you're coaching on it and also doing it, you are multiplying your impact by a lot. So that's really the way I see it.
Yeah. So that's great advice. Now, if I was on the call with you, because this is the prospect stage still, how would you transition into trying to, let's just for the sake of words, close me on hiring you as my coach?
Yeah. So is your question just how I would proceed to enroll them, or?
So let's just say I brought you that problem. I don't know which one to pick. You give me that advice like you just did. And then now it's time to basically try to close me on you being my coach to help me achieve the goal I have in mind. How would you do that?
Yeah. So one thing I will clarify, I am not a specific business coach who helps you launch the business, teach you about a specific coaching strategy or anything like that. My main issue was focus. I get distracted. I got ADD. I don't know which business to go with, So, I understand you're not a business coach. You're not necessarily going to give me the best business to do or whatever, but I do have a mental block of focus
so I would hope that you could be able to help me. Let's just go with that. So for the basis of the talk, so you can kind of show us what you do to transition into trying to close somebody to be a client of yours.
Yeah. So from that point, what I would basically do, once they see their problem, they see what they're looking to solve, I dive deep into what my program provides, but not just from a general standpoint. I show to them what my program provides that would help them specifically. If they're struggling with focus, I talk about how in module 6 of my program, I talk about the focus principle, which stands for follow one course until successful. And I show exactly how to stick to one certain thing on a weekly basis so that you're never sidetracked and always moving forward in the direction you want, right? So when I'm displaying what my program is about and how it's going to help them, I frame it exactly towards their situation, not towards just a random entrepreneur situation, right? So it really is all about them rather than what my program has, if that makes sense.
Okay, but take us into that. Like, so let's just role play here. So you're going to mention a part of your program, like in my case, it's talking about taking one course, one path, and focusing on that. So walk us through hypothetically transitioning into closing someone. Like, what does that sound like? What do you say? You get someone to say, yes, I think I need to sign up for your course, your coaching, or whatever you offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'll say, got it. Really appreciate you explaining that. And I'd like to take this opportunity just to tell you a bit about my coaching program, because I believe there's a way it can help you out. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So just to let you know, my mindset performance program is really oriented to help people that are in a similar situation. Like you mentioned that you are struggling with focus, right? I completely understand that. I used to be in the same situation 2 years ago. I had a very hard time focusing on something as simple as a homework assignment, yet alone a whole business to build, right? So I completely understand where you're coming from. And to help you overcome this problem, inside my program, I teach certain strategies which, first of all, help you develop the right mindset around focus, because focus, believe it or not, is not just about execution, but also what's going through your brain. So the first 3 weeks of my coaching program is all about developing a long-term mindset that will help you overcome limiting beliefs when it comes to focus, right? And once I'm able to help you overcome this problem, from there, we dive deep into the tactical things like following one course until successful, which stands for focus, right? And from there, also diving into focusing strategies, right? I've been able to save tons of hours every single week just by using something called the 3X magic time. And this strategy would basically allow you to work on one task for a long period of time, but get work done 3 times as efficiently as you normally would. And so through leveraging strategies like this, through leveraging the mindset principle of focus and also the tactical high performance strategies, you'd be able to overcome this problem long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Got it.
That's good.
So, that's a brief overview of my program. Do you have any questions about anything I explained so far?
How does someone get started?
Yeah, man. So it's very, very simple. There's a simple investment you make, and from there we move forward into getting you those results. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And then do what you got to do.
Got you. So let's get into what you actually offer. You gave us a little bit of insight and hints of that. So you're a mindset coach. You're helping people with the mindset. You're helping people with, I believe, even like the morning routines and things like that. Let's talk about what you offer, who your ideal client is, and what solution or transformation that you bring.
Yeah. So, I think the 2 skills that everyone in this world needs, and I mean everyone, whether you're in a 9-to-5, whether you are a student, whether you are an entrepreneur, it does not matter. The 2 skills that I truly believe everyone needs is a mindset to overcome difficult situations in life, and the high performance skills to get everything you need done throughout the day, get good results while still having time to enjoy life, do the things that you love most, right? Because I believe that balance of fulfillment and hard work is really what people struggle with these days. So that's what my program consists of, really. First part of it is really all about mindset, because I know that as unprofessional as it sounds, some people may think that, mindset's just a fancy word for don't be lazy, right? I think there's much more to that people are missing out, because you can have all the high performance strategies in the world. I mean it. You can know all the morning routines. You can know everything there is to making the most out of every single day. But if you don't execute on that, it's simply because your mindset is weak. So if you're able to overcome that problem first and then learn the strategies you need to making the most out of your day, that's exactly how I go about teaching my program.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of mindset, quote unquote, coaches out there, right? And people talk a lot about mindset, and it's not necessarily. It's been so over talked about. It's not sexy anymore, right? Would you
Right.
agree?
Absolutely.
But so let's talk about why it's so important, right? What are even give us an example of when a mindset shift has happened and the results of that, and what it would be like. Like, can you share with us an example? But first, kind of go into why it's so important.
Yeah. So an example about when I realized that mindset's important. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the best ones I've had by far was just on my journey of entrepreneurship. So, towards the beginning of it, I was a closer for a digital marketing agency. And this was when I really did not know what I was doing. I just wanted to start getting results, start learning about it, right? I was learning more and more. I took a course on how to be a closer, how to work with these digital marketing agencies, because the goal of it was really to be able to close these services without being able to provide them because the agency would do that for you, right? So you're just doing the enrollment part, the agency takes care of the rest, right? So I'm like, wow, that's a cool model. Seems pretty simple, right? And so I did this for 6 months, right? And believe it or not, I sent out over 5,000 outreach messages, right? 5,000 constantly working day and night, right? And I earned $0 from all those leads. 5,000 leads, did not earn a single penny, right? And so I realized that, hey, I'm still here even though I made $0. What does this mean? Right. So I kept going. Right. And literally after 6 months, there was one day I remember so vividly. I believe it was January 7th, where I'm thinking to myself, I've been doing this since June. How have I not made a single sale today? Right. And
Mm,
so I reframed that. I thought to myself that, hey, I'm still here. I'm going to keep going until I achieve that result. And as soon as I kept pushing through, even though I was millimeters, and I mean millimeters away from giving up, literally a couple days after that, I started closing deals right away. And I closed more money in that following week than I did in the previous 6 months. And the only thing that changed was me telling myself that I need to keep going, keep building that discipline, and keep pushing no matter what happens. So, whether that's entrepreneurship, whether that's building a good physical shape for yourself, it does not matter. Mindset is what ultimately allows you to get through that difficult point and get the result you want.
what do you find that most people are dealing with or struggling with when it comes to mindset? When you're working with these guys out there, what is the most common thing people are dealing with?
I think people are soft, to be completely honest. And I'm not to say that I'm the hardest person in the world, someone who will never give up whatsoever. I've given up multiple times, right? That's not to say. But I know I've given up significantly less. I rarely quit on things now because I've just been practicing that idea of self-discipline for a long time. And I think so many people struggle with that because everything is so easy these days. I mean, you don't even have to go grocery shopping. You could literally get it ordered right to your house and you have everything you need, right? So because of the simplicity of the world, because you have things like your phone that'll tell you everything you need to know, because you could order things, people just don't have that discipline, that grit that people in older ages really had, where they had to do everything on their own, find a solution for all their problems by themselves, rather than relying on these easy tools. So I think being soft is the biggest problem people have these days.
Wow. And then so you would recommend a shift of mindset. Give us a little insider of how someone can go from soft to being, committed and strong and have enough great courage to not being so reliant on technology or in most people's case being so soft like you're talking about.
Yeah, I say by far the first thing you need to do is recognize what's real and what's not, because it's so funny to me how, there will be kids these days that are playing sports, and they'll receive eighth place trophies or something like that, right? Which to me is completely ridiculous, right? How can you reward someone for getting the last place in a tournament, right? If people were to not give away trophies like that, but, of course, not everyone's playing sports. That's not the point. It's just an analogy that if you keep getting rewarded for average behavior, for something that doesn't work out, when people tell you, oh, it's okay that you cheated on your diet, oh, it's okay that you skipped that workout, when you get rewarded for being average, you're going to continue to keep doing that. But once you recognize that that is a serious problem and that it's affecting your life, that's when you're going to start want to change things. So the first step by far to developing the right mindset is recognizing that you are not who you want to be. You got to be straight up with yourself. I went 6 months without any kind of social media when I first found out that, wow, I'm in a terrible spot in life, and just learned about myself, because I knew that, hey, I'm in a horrible spot. I don't do anything on time. I am a bad son. I'm a bad friend. Really, everything was wrong about me. And until I recognized that, that starting point, that's when I decided, okay, I could grow from here. So the first step is by far just recognizing where you are.
Yeah. And then what are some of the solutions to maintain that healthy mindset to help you make, because you said the two things you believe everybody should have is and I can't remember the exact title you used, but you basically said high performance habits, right? Something like that. And then
That's
what
right.
was the other
Making the
one?
most out of every minute.
Yeah. So high performance habits, and what was the other one that you mentioned that everybody should have?
A limitless mindset.
Limitless mindset. What is a limitless mindset? Is that more of an overcomers type mindset?
Yeah. When I say limitless, that could also be changed with a persistence mindset, where no matter what happens in life, no matter how things go, you recognize that everything happens for a reason. And that drives you to just find a solution to whatever didn't go your way. And whatever did go your way, great, keep going with that. But the point of a limitless or persistence mindset is that you never stop moving forward. You're constantly growing.
Yeah. Powerful stuff. Daniel, got some questions there?
So you have this program, right? Is it a set amount of time that you work with a client, or do you just work with them for until they've reached their goal?
Yeah, so the program layout is 8 weeks long. So you learn everything you need in 8 weeks. Now, I don't stop coaching that person until they achieve the results they desire. So, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah. And on average, how many clients do you feel you would be comfortable coaching at any given time?
Yeah, I would honestly say 10 at a time, because just based on how much time I have on a daily basis, that is the most I can do by giving one-on-one attention while also making sure that everyone as a group is doing well, right? So I would say 10.
And when you have a client that is, they seem like they're motivated, they're trying, but then all of a sudden they just kind of peter off. How do you kind of, whip them back into shape or get them, back on the bandwagon?
Yeah, I've actually never had a client like that. I think people like that just don't end up joining my program. But if it were to happen, I would say by far, and I teach this in the first module of my program, I remind them why they joined in the first place, right? The one of the first homework assignments my students receive is something called recognizing and realizing your why, right? And so I ask them to read that worksheet in front of me and tell me what they're thinking. Why are they giving up on something that's so important to them? Because really, having your why is not about yourself. It's about the other people that matter to you most in your life. So as soon as they read that, as soon as they leverage that tool, they get their motivation back real quick, because I was in the same place myself. I've wanted to give up many times on entrepreneurship. And each time I realized my why, like I said, I visualized it, closed my eyes, I read what I was talking about, whatever it was. From there, I never wanted to succeed more.
So, August, if one of our viewers wants to book a call with you, or they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, honestly, Instagram or Facebook, either way. My Instagram is at the August Orlowski, and my Facebook is just my name, August Orlowski. Either one, that is how I help people out the most, the best ways to reach me. I don't have a website, mainly because I don't see a need for it, because I believe my content and the calls that I hop on are by far where people get most value. So if you're looking to get in contact with me, those are the best places.
Awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, we could keep talking about all this, man. You're a very, very knowledgeable, acceptable, I can already tell, effective coach. And that's what it's all about. There's a lot of coaches out there who are just trying to get a dollar and not really caring about transformation. And we can
I can't wait to see where you're going to be in 10 years, man. Like 17 or 19 right now. I mean, you make me feel like I've wasted so much time, because you're so young, you're so motivated, you're getting this done. You're not waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. You're just working it out and making your life what you want it to be. And that's very motivating for me. And I'm sure it's motivating for all the people that are going to watch this now or watching it later in the replay. So, just keep doing what you're doing. And I don't think you have any problem with that, but don't let anybody get in there in your head and tell you that you're
one of the things wrong. He said, I caught right off the beginning. He got around people doing what he wanted to do, and I'm sure you got a coach for yourself, don't you?
Absolutely. I do. All mentors have mentors.
Yes. If you're the real deal, you have a coach, you're coachable, and you cannot give somebody something you don't have. And so
Exactly.
you can tell this man has decided to be coachable. He recognized where he was responsible, and he now turned it into a business to help others do the same thing. This is an impactpreneur right here, live in living color. I can tell you that right now. Hey, hang on with us after the show. I want to talk to you real quick. But guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, man, for coming on and sharing these gold nuggets, these bombs, these things. Reach out to my man and get your mind right so you can achieve more success in life. I can tell you, you got to get in the game, and you got to be able to know how to actually overcome some things. Even if your life is going real good, you don't think as you go to the next level, there's, they say this, the next level's got next devil, right? There's another one. There's another hurdle to go above and around and try to figure out. So you got to have people in your corner, in your circle. You got to have a coach that will help you see some things and overcome some things. And my man right here is one of those guys. So again, thanks for coming on, man, and sharing all the stuff you do and what you stand for, man. Appreciate that.
Grateful for this opportunity as well. Really grateful we had this conversation, and hopefully I brought value to everyone watching this.
Absolutely, man. Hey, guys, till next time, thanks for tuning in to the Frank Ammons Show. We'll see you next time on the next show.
You've been listening to the Frank Ammons Show. Until next time, remember, Michael Jordan was the best player in the world, but didn't win a single championship until he got the right coach. Visit frankammons.com and schedule a game-changing call with Frank himself and watch your business accelerate to the next level.